Shalom to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And welcome to another episode of Torah Tuesday. And tonight, we're going to stick with the same topic as the other episodes before. And the title is Laws in Idolatry and Worshiping Other Gods. Where we left off at was Leviticus chapter 26. And tonight, I'm going to start with Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1. So I'm going to read it, and then I may throw a few precepts in it, may expound on a few things that happened in history dealing with our people, and we go from there. So Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spoke unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. So, both sides kind of like, putting a scenario out there. If someone enticed thee to go and serve other gods through a dream or through a prophecy, then we are to discern that through the commandments of the Most High. Throughout history, we know that our people have been tested at that, on that level of whether you're going to serve other gods or whether you're going to serve the Most High. All right. One historical event had happened in the book of Second Chronicles, dealing with Jehoshaphat and Ahab. And long story short, Jehoshaphat wanted to go to war, and he asked Ahab to go with him. But Jehoshaphat inquired of the prophets. So he had prophets to come and to prophesy whether or not he would be successful in battle. And that's Second Chronicles chapter 18. I think I'm going to read 6 and 7, just to give a brief example of what this law is actually putting forth. So Second Chronicles 18 and verse 6. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord's aside, that we might inquire of him? Now, what's happening is that Jehoshaphat had summoned prophets. Right at the script above, he said he summoned 400 prophets, right? So they prophesied good things, that they will overcome in war their enemy in Ramoth Gilead. So in verse 6, I'm going to read it again. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord's besides, that we might inquire of him? Verse 7. For the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him. So right off the bat, Ahab said, You know what? We can acquire one man, but I hate him. Why? It's because the Spirit of the Lord was upon him. And the Spirit of the Lord told him the truth about things. Not what we just read in Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1, right? To entice them to do evil. We're going to go back and read that, but I'm going to continue on. Verse 7. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him. For he never prophesied good unto me, but always evil. The same is Micaiah, the son of Imal, the son of Imal. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. So, verse 8, And the king of Israel called for one of his officers and said, Fetch me Micaiah, the son of Imerah. Let's lock in on them names. Verse 9, and the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat neither of them on his throne, clothed in their robes, and they sat in a void place at the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before him. So now, they call themselves going to hide themselves and cover themselves, right, from all the prophets to see what will be the verdict or what will be prophesied of them. Okay, so long story short, they didn't listen to Micaiah. Okay, and what they went forth and went to war, and the king of Israel, King Ahab, had got shot by a spear. Okay, and they lost the war. So let me go back and read verse 13 in Deuteronomy. And I'm going to read verse 2. And the sign of the wonder came to pass. Thereof he spoke unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast known, and let us serve them. Verse 3. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For the Lord your God proveth you. See, right then and there, the Most High was proving Ahab, right, through the prophet Micaiah, and he failed. And not only did he fail, but he got put to death. So just by reading this law right here, okay, Ahab went against the law, and the sentence and the judgment of that was death. Okay, because the Most High tell you, as I read on, if that dreamer of dreams or that prophet, if his prophecy come to pass, right, know that the Lord has sent him. I'm going to read on. Start at 3 from the top. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God proveth you, to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Verse 4. Ye shall walk after the Lord your God, and fear him, and keep his commandments. See, once again, keep his commandments, and observe his voice, and ye shall serve him, and cleave unto him. Now, verse 5. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. So let me get a precept on that, and that's going to be in 2 Thessalonians. Right? So the Most High said, this is how he tries us, whether or not we will love him and keep his commandments. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. Even him who cometh is after the works of Satan. See, that's why you got to check that spirit. And you check that spirit and you discern that spirit through the commandments of the Most High. Okay, so now Deuteronomy chapter 13 and verse 1, and it goes down the whole chapter. It tells you how to discern these spirits and these dreamer of dreams and these so-called prophets. Okay, and he said, if I have not said it, and if it didn't come to pass, then know that is not of me. Okay, now what he says in Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 9, he says, even him whose coming is after the works of Satan, with all power and signs and lying of signs and lying wonders. So even Satan has the ability to come in and quote unquote prophesy against the Lord to entice the children of Israel. And that's what happened when you go back and you read 2 Chronicles chapter 18, is that it says that the angels came before the Lord, and they said, who would entice Ahab to go up? Okay, so Satan even had a part in that. All right. So, these laws stand true. And like I said, and they give us the discernment so that we can understand, how to serve our God. So I'm going to continue on because remember, I'm just want to read the laws. I would chat in and give a precept or two or expound on some history. But basically, I really want to focus on bringing forth the law. Okay, what thus said the Lord? Verse 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thy own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers. Okay, so it said, nor thy fathers. I got another precept, Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24, real quick. So he's telling you, don't let them entice you. Always be aware, and keep what they call your spider senses up when anyone. It was naming the son, it was naming your daughters, it was naming the wife of your bosom. So it was naming everybody. It said, do not, put it away, discern what is being said and what actions they want you to take to go forward, right? And if it's not of the commandments, then you have to check that. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 24. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, in so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. See, that's a future prophecy that's coming up, because we know that in these last days and times that, Esau is going to pull out his, I would say, his magical wands, put it that way, or his technology, his science, to entice the people to entice the people to go how he wants them to go. But now we have to be wiser than Satan. We have to be wiser than our oppressor, and how we become wiser is truly understanding what these laws and commandments is being said to us. Okay, so now in the book of Matthew, it says, even if possible, the very elect, which is, like I said before, is a future prophecy, because we have yet to go through what Esau is about to put upon this world. Okay, so let's go back to Deuteronomy, and I'm going to continue with verse 6. Yeah, I'm going to continue with verse 6. Verse 7, I'm sorry. Namely, of the gods of the people which are around about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, neither hearken unto him, neither shall thine eyes pity him, neither shall thy spare, neither shall thy counsel him. But thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. So, it may sound a bit cruel, but the Lord is telling you to check it at the door. Okay? It says that don't show no pity to him, especially when you find out, like, man, this whoever it may be is really telling me to do something that's just not right, and that is against the laws of the Most High, right? And that the outcome of it is going to be somebody's going to get put to death. And it very well may be you, because if you know better and then you go forth with it, like Ahab did, right? Then the Most High said, one arrow put Ahab to death. Whatever the case may be, or whatever the scenario may be with somebody enticing you, that's what should cross your mind. First of all, these commandments, right? Being able to discern whether or not a person is trying to persuade you to do wrong. The second one should be the history of going against the commandments, right, of the laws of the Most High God. So just wanted to drop those jewels on y'all tonight. And, I'll pick it up, my next episode, I'll pick it up back in Deuteronomy chapter 13. And I'm going to pick it up at verse 10. So tonight, that'll be it. Shalom.